Hey there, you're looking kind of cute. Don't forget to subscribe and check out all my other socials. Enjoy. The apartment smelled like burnt ramen again. Steam came from the stove where a pot was left alone. The food inside was burned. In the living room, someone typed on a laptop with more and more frustration. Another ghost. The laptop closed hard. 3 good conversations, then nothing. No replies. A voice called from the kitchen doorway. "You're burning dinner again." "Don't care." Bryce sank into the old gray couch and ran his hands through his short brown hair. "I'm done with online dating." Marcus came out with 2 beers. He stepped over empty takeout boxes. He gave 1 beer to his roommate and sat in the recliner. "How many matches this week?" 7. 7 matches, 0 real dates. Bryce took a long drink. "My cousin posts 1 selfie on Instagram and gets 50 guys messaging her." So women have it easy. They just sit there and choose who they want. Marcus raised an eyebrow. "That's a bit much." "Is it?" Bryce sat up, gesturing with his beer. "When's the last time a woman had to make the first move? Had to come up with clever opening lines? Had to deal with getting ignored after putting yourself out there? Pretty sure women deal with their own problems." "Like what? Too many options?" Bryce snorted. "Must be real hard sorting through all that attention." The room fell quiet except for the hiss of the forgotten pot finally boiling dry. Marcus studied his roommate's face, then a slow grin spread across his features. "You really believe that?" "Absolutely." "Bet you $500 you're wrong." Bryce straightened. "What kind of bet?" "Simple. You think women have it so easy? Prove it. Make a female dating profile, see how easy it really is." "That's catfishing. Not if you're upfront about it being an experiment after you match." Marcus leaned forward. "Unless you're scared to put your money where your mouth is." The challenge hung between them. Bryce's jaw tightened. $500 would cover his share of rent, and he needed the money after buying that new graphics card. "Fine, but I'm not using some random woman's photos." "Even better." Marcus's grin widened. "Use your own." "What?" "Dress up, take pictures, make it authentic." "You want me to—" Bryce trailed off, processing the suggestion. "Scared?" That single word sealed it. Bryce shot to his feet. $500 says I'll have more matches in one day than I've gotten all month." They shook on it. The next morning brought regret and a pounding headache. But the bet stood. Marcus had already laid out supplies on the coffee table. Makeup palettes, brushes, and various tubes of products Bryce couldn't identify. "Where'd you even get all this?" "Ex-girlfriend left them." Marcus scrolled through his phone. "Found some tutorials too. Start with foundation." The first attempt was a disaster. Bryce's face looked like he'd smeared orange paint across it. The second wasn't much better. By the third try, with Marcus reading instructions aloud, something passable emerged in the mirror. Now the eyes. "This is ridiculous." $500 ridiculous? Bryce grabbed the eyeshadow palette. The colors overwhelmed him. Browns, pinks, purples. He settled on neutral tones, following the tutorial's guidance about blending and layering. Mascara proved trickier, stabbing himself in the eye twice before managing to coat his lashes. Lips last. The pink gloss felt strange, sticky and sweet-smelling. Bryce pressed his lips together, studying the unfamiliar reflection. The face staring back wasn't quite female, but it wasn't entirely male either. "Now clothes." "I'm not wearing your ex's stuff." "Already thought of that." Marcus disappeared into his room, returning with a shopping bag. "Bought these yesterday after you passed out." Inside lay a pink sundress, simple and knee-length, along with white sandals in what looked close to Bryce's size. The fabric felt soft between his fingers. "Why pink?" "Goes with your skin tone." The dress slipped on easier than expected. It hung loose in some places, tight in others, but the overall effect in the full-length mirror was striking. Combined with the makeup and his naturally slim build, Bryce could pass for female at first glance. Hair's still too short. "Just style it different. Sweep it to the side." Marcus demonstrated, pushing Bryce's brown hair across his forehead. "See? feminine pixie cut. The complete transformation reflected back. Bryce turned left, then right, examining angles. This is weird. Weird enough to win $500. Now we need photos. They spent an hour taking pictures around the apartment, by the window for natural light, on the couch with a coffee mug, smiling, serious, looking away from the camera. Marcus directed each shot like a professional photographer. What name should I use? Something normal, not Bryce. Lorelei. The name came without thought, like the singer. Perfect. Let's build this profile. Creating Lorelei's dating presence took another hour. They selected 5 photos, wrote a bio about enjoying coffee shops and hiking, listed interests in gaming and sci-fi shows. Normal things, honest things, just presented through a female lens. Ready? Bryce's finger hovered over the Activate button. Once pressed, Lorelei would exist in the digital dating world. This feels wrong. Remember, you'll tell matches it's an experiment, no actual catfishing. Right. The button clicked. Now we wait. The first notification came within 30 seconds, then another, and another. Bryce's phone vibrated constantly as the match counter climbed. 10 matches in 5 minutes, 20 in 15. Holy shit. Marcus peered over his shoulder. Popular already. Messages flooded in faster than Bryce could read them. His eyes widened at the variety. Simple hellos, cheesy pickup lines, paragraphs of introduction. The phone nearly vibrated off the table. Told you. Easy mode. Check what they're actually saying first. Bryce opened the first message. Hey, beautiful. Nice tits. His face flushed. The second wasn't better. Damn girl, what that mouth do? The third included a photo he immediately regretted opening. Dude sent a dick pic already? 3 minutes after matching. Bryce scrolled faster. Here's another one. And another. Mixed between the explicit messages were normal greetings, but even those felt different than his usual experience. Men commented on specific body parts, made sexual suggestions, or demanded immediate responses. This one's upset I didn't answer in 2 minutes. Marcus read over his shoulder. Typical bitch, just looking for attention. Why match if you won't talk? I was literally reading other messages. The notification counter kept climbing. 50 matches in an hour. Messages poured in faster than possible to answer. Some men sent follow-ups within minutes, growing increasingly hostile at the silence. Look at this. Bryce showed a conversation where he'd politely declined a date. The man's response filled the screen with profanity and insults about Lorelei's appearance, intelligence, and worth as a person. Block him. Already did. But look, 3 more just like it. They spent hours reading through messages, categorizing them. 20% seemed genuinely interested in conversation. 30% opened with sexual content. The remaining half fell somewhere between, normal at first, but quickly escalating to demands for photos, phone numbers, or immediate meetups. This one seems nice. Bryce highlighted a message asking about hiking trails mentioned in the bio. Respond to him. And say what? Hey, I'm actually a dude who lost a bet? Maybe wait on that part. Bryce typed a response about favorite local trails. The man replied instantly, suggesting they hike together that weekend. When Bryce mentioned wanting to chat more first, the tone shifted. Playing games already? Typical. You're probably talking to 50 other guys right now. I literally only responded to him. Bryce showed Marcus the inbox full of unread messages. How is this easy mode? Volume, Marcus suggested weakly. You have options. Options to get harassed? Look at this one. Another explicit photo appeared. That's the 8th dick pic today. The experiment continued through the week. Bryce found himself checking the app constantly, both fascinated and horrified by the responses. He tried different approaches, being friendly, being distant, responding quickly, taking time. Nothing changed the fundamental dynamic. Matched with this guy yesterday, Bryce explained over morning coffee, still wearing the pink sundress from another photo session. Seemed intelligent, asked about books I like. We talked for 2 hours about science fiction. Sounds promising. Then he asked for nudes. When I said no, he called me a prude and unmatched. Marcus shifted uncomfortably. Maybe he thought 2 hours meant something? 2 hours of talking about Asimov means I owe him naked pictures? The pattern repeated endlessly. Decent conversations derailed by sexual demands. Polite rejections met with anger. The few men who remained respectful often revealed other issues, mentioning ex-girlfriends constantly, making plans but never following through, or admitting they were married and looking for fun. This one wants to pay me. For what? To be his sugar baby. Bryce showed the message offering $1,000 weekly for companionship. That's actually good money. Marcus? Right, sorry, this is getting dark. By the second week, Bryce had developed strategies. Block liberally. Don't respond to sexual opening messages. Watch for red flags in profiles. Even with filters, the experience remained exhausting. Wearing the dress again? Bryce glanced down at the pink fabric. He'd put it on that morning without thinking, wanting to update Lorelei's photos. Easier than changing constantly for pictures. You've worn it 3 days straight. So? The defensive tone surprised them both. It's comfortable. Marcus raised his hands in surrender. Just observing. Truth was, Bryce had started enjoying the transformation process. Applying makeup became meditative, each step building Lorelei's presence. The dress swished pleasantly when walking. The sandals clicked against the floor in a rhythm he found soothing. Got a video message. Bryce opened it reluctantly. A man had filmed himself doing things that made both roommates recoil. Why would anyone think that's attractive? No idea. Bryce blocked and reported the account. 63rd explicit video this week. You're keeping count? Started a spreadsheet. The laptop screen showed detailed statistics. Messages received, type of content, response times, outcome of conversations. Data doesn't lie. Marcus studied the numbers. 80% negative interactions? And that's being generous. Some start nice, but turn nasty fast. What about the 20%? Mixed bag. Some genuinely nice guys who I feel terrible lying to. Others who seem nice but give off weird vibes. Bryce pulled up a conversation. This one keeps mentioning how young I look. You listed Lorelei as 25. Exactly. But he keeps saying things like, you could pass for 18, and I love that innocent look. Creepy. The third week brought new challenges. Men who'd been blocked created new accounts to continue harassment. Others found Lorelei's profile on social media platforms Bryce had forgotten he'd linked. The fake Instagram account he'd made for authenticity filled with unsolicited messages. Recognize this one from the coffee shop. Marcus looked at the message. Derek from down the street? Sent me his hotel room number. He's married with 2 kids. Shit. Gets worse. Recognized 3 others from around town. 2 are guys who've complained to me about their wives. Bryce's voice carried disgust. As Bryce, they talk about family values. As Lorelei, they send dick pics. The pink sundress had become daily wear. Bryce wore it while working from home, claiming it helped maintain the mindset for responding to matches. He'd gotten better at makeup too. The routine shortened to 15 minutes. You responding to anyone today? Few conversations going. Bryce typed rapidly, code on one screen, dating app on another, trying something new, being completely honest about expectations, just want conversation, nothing physical, prefer to take things slow. How's that working? 40% unmatch immediately, 30% agree, then push boundaries anyway. 20% get angry about wasting their time. 10% seem okay with it. That's something. Until they ask why I'm so uptight. Must be damaged, they say. Bad past relationship. Daddy issues. No normal woman would want just conversation. Bryce's fingers paused over the keyboard. Maybe they're right. About what? Being damaged. Who keeps doing this for a bet? Marcus frowned. You want to stop? Call it even? Can't. The response came quick. Need to see it through. 1 month was the agreement. Week 4 arrived with unexpected revelations. Bryce had started recognizing patterns in male behavior he'd exhibited himself. The impatience when matches didn't respond quickly. The assumption that interest meant availability. The anger at rejection he'd disguised as frustration. Remember that girl who ghosted me last month? Marcus nodded. The redhead from the bookstore? I sent her 5 messages over 2 days. Called her rude for not responding. Bryce stared at his phone. Lorelai gets 5 messages in 2 minutes. From everyone. Different situation. Is it? The pink sundress rustled as Bryce shifted positions. I got mad because she didn't give me a chance. These guys get mad for the same reason. You weren't sending dick pics. No, but I was entitled. Expected her time just because we matched. Bryce pulled up old conversations from his male profile. Look at these. Passive-aggressive when they didn't respond fast enough. Pushy about meeting up. I was just politer about it. The realization settled heavy between them. Marcus broke the silence. So you're saying you were wrong? About women having it easy? God, yes. Bryce laughed bitterly. They're not choosing from quality options. They're filtering through garbage, hoping to find something decent. $500 worth of wrong? That's tomorrow. Last day of the month. The final 24 hours passed in a blur of messages. Bryce had stopped checking constantly, the notification sound triggering anxiety rather than curiosity. He'd found 3 men who seemed genuinely interested in Lorelai as a person, but guilt prevented pursuing those connections. Time's up, Marcus announced at midnight. Month's over. Bryce looked up from the laptop, still in the pink sundress he'd worn all day. Makeup smudged but present. Final count, 843 matches, over 6,000 messages, 57 dick pics, 91 requests for nudes, 43 men who called me a bitch for various reasons. And dates? 0. Could have had plenty if I wanted to meet angry, pushy, or married men. Bryce closed the laptop. You win. Here's your money. Marcus pushed the offered cash back. Keep it. Wasn't about the money anyway. Then what? Teaching you perspective. Worked better than expected. Marcus gestured at Bryce's appearance. Though I didn't expect this part. What part? You're still dressed as Lorelai. Bryce glanced down as if noticing for the first time. The pink fabric felt natural against his skin. His brown hair, grown slightly longer over the month, framed his face in a way he'd styled automatically that morning. It's comfortable. That all? The question hung heavy. Bryce considered lying, returning to male presentation tomorrow, pretending the month hadn't changed something fundamental. But Lorelai had taught him about honesty, even when difficult. No, I like being her. Her? Me, as Lorelai. The admission came easier than expected. Not just the clothes. The way I move, think, exist in the world. It feels right. Marcus nodded slowly. So what now? Delete the dating app. Definitely done with that nightmare. Bryce picked up his phone, removing the source of so much harassment. But keep the rest. The clothes? Makeup? The identity. Want to see where it goes when it's not about proving a point. They sat quietly, processing the shift. Marcus spoke first. Pronouns? She, her, if that's okay. Of course. You're still paying rent, right? Lorelai laughed, genuine for the first time in weeks. Yeah, still paying rent. Then we're good, though you might want more than one dress. Already ordered some. She gestured at her laptop. Amazon cart full of possibilities. When did you... Week 2. Knew then something was changing. Lorelai smoothed the pink fabric. This bet became something else, something necessary. Life-changing wager, worth more than $500. Marcus stood, stretching. For what it's worth, you make a good Lorelai. Better than I made a Bryce. Different, not better or worse. Lorelai appreciated the sentiment. Thanks for pushing the bet, even if your reasons were just to prove me wrong. Mostly that, Marcus admitted. But also you seemed miserable. Angry at the world, at women, at yourself. Figured perspective might help. Got more than perspective. Got yourself. The words settled comfortably between them. Lorelai pulled up shopping sites, browsing through clothes with new purpose. Not for photos or profiles, but for everyday life. Work clothes in feminine cuts. Casual wear beyond the single pink sundress. Shoes that weren't just white sandals. Need help shopping? Might take you up on that. Lorelai bookmarked several items. Your ex left those makeup tutorials too? Whole playlist. Apparently I wasn't appreciative enough of the effort involved. You weren't. None of us are. She thought of the hour each morning perfecting Lorelai's appearance, the constant maintenance throughout the day. Existing as a woman is work men don't see. Learning experience for both of us then. Expensive one for you. Marcus shrugged. Worth it to see you happy. Hadn't realized how long it had been. Lorelai considered this. The anger that had defined Bryce's existence seemed distant now, replaced by something calmer. Not easier, the month had proven that impossibility, but more authentic. Still going to tell people about the bet? Eventually. Need to figure out how to explain it first. She gestured vaguely at herself. Hey, I lost a bet and found myself sounds like a bad movie plot. Sometimes life is a bad movie plot, with better character development. They talked until sunrise, planning practical matters. How to handle work, thankfully remote. What to tell friends and family, whether to pursue medical transitions or maintain current presentation. Each decision felt monumental and ordinary simultaneously. Should probably sleep. Lorelai nodded but didn't move. Marcus? Yeah? The dating stuff. Was it really that bad for my matches too? The ones I ghosted or got impatient with? Probably not as extreme, but yeah, probably sucked for them too. I owe some apologies. Maybe focus on moving forward instead. Good advice. Lorelai finally stood, the pink sundress swishing around her knees. Tomorrow would bring new challenges. Updating documents, shopping for necessities, explaining changes to confused acquaintances. But tonight, she felt settled in a way Bryce never had. Good night, Lorelai. Good night. She padded to her room, white sandals clicking softly. The mirror reflected truth rather than costume now. Brown hair needed styling, makeup required touching up, but the person staring back was real. Had always been real, just hidden under layers of denial and anger. The dating app icon was gone from her phone. Good riddance to that particular hell. But the experience, horrible as it was, had served its purpose. Understanding came through walking in uncomfortable shoes, literally and figuratively. Lorelai changed into pajamas, hanging the pink sundress carefully. It deserved preservation, this catalyst for transformation. Tomorrow she'd wear something new, begin building a wardrobe that reflected who she was becoming. But tonight, she appreciated what the simple dress had started. $500 had seemed like easy money. Win a bet, prove a point, get paid. Instead, she'd paid the price of admission to her own life. Expensive lesson, but invaluable return. The last thought before sleep was gratitude. For pushy roommates, failed dates, and bets that changed everything. For discovering that easy mode didn't exist for anyone, but authentic mode was worth every challenge. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out my other socials if you want more content, early access, behind the scenes, and more. All links down below.